Welcome! Welcome to our very first episode of Ask CyberArk, the only podcast focused on answering questions from our community of users, practitioners, and partners. I'm your host, Jeffrey Koch, coming to you from CyberArk Singapore. Since this is our very first episode of podcast, we have a very special guest with us. Someone whose name most associated with CyberArk, our co-founder, our chairman, Mr. Udi Mokady. Welcome, Udi. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey, and congrats on the podcast. Great to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's morning here in Boston, and I know it's evening over there. I miss being with you in person.
Likewise, we look forward to you coming back to Singapore at some point in time. Yeah. So I'd like to first start off on a more personal note, right? So this is challenging times. We are still in the middle of the COVID-19, right? For our employees, our families, our friends, and the broader CyberArk community, would you like to share what's your view on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic has to CyberArk?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, as a founder in CyberArk, I've sustained also past issues in global economy, like the 2001 dot-com bust, 2008 financial crisis, and gives us a lot of experience on how to approach this with thoughtfulness and with calm. Of course, it's a very serious pandemic, but we wanted to make sure we put the top priority, the health of our employees, our customers, and partners. And then ensure that it's part of our role is to keep things moving and continue with cybersecurity, which is our expertise. And so everyone is up and running, like you, Jeffrey. Everyone is working, enabled around the world. We have more than 1,500 employees. Thank goodness they are healthy and thriving, and very focused on the customers. We have a very strong sense of purpose, and so they're able to withstand this time. And we're also very optimistic that we will overcome and come out of this stronger and much more digital.
That's awesome, and I think a lot of our customers are going to be very glad to know that we are coping very well in this challenging times. I think one of the most asked question that we had from our community is around one of our recent moves, our acquisition for Idaptive. So I'd like to take a few minutes to ask some of the questions that our users have been posing to us. Please remember that I'm only a messenger. Don't shoot a messenger.
Never. You're a lovely messenger. Would never do that.
Just joking. So I know some of these questions can be quite tough, so best to preempt you. The first one is, I think users would like to ask why. Why did CyberArk make this move? Why did we choose to acquire Idaptive? And what's the strategy behind this acquisition?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a super important one, and I would say this is a culmination of a lot of thinking and a long-term strategy that CyberArk put in place. Let's first of all remember that CyberArk pioneered and is the market leader in privileged access management. We really built this market with a focus on securing privileged access for our customers around the world. In recent years, with the adoption of hybrid IT environments and multi-clouds and with digital transformation, we saw proliferation of what privileged is, from human users to machine identities, and in all types of environments. And we've always expanded our portfolio to make sure that we can address all the various privileged access management use cases. What we've seen further is that there are more and more scenarios where a regular user, a business user, becomes a privileged user, and whether it's based on the type of sensitive information that they get access to or the action that they're doing with that sensitive information. And we wanted to bring this identity security first or security first approach and to be able to expand the scope to all types of users, still very security oriented, enabling digital transformation. And with Idaptive, we can really cover the beginning of an interaction with a business user, from the multi-factor authentication, the single sign-on, their access to the application, and really expand to that scope.
Thanks, Udi. So just now you mentioned two terms that that caught my eye or caught my ear, which is identity security and security first. So for our non-security customers and partners and users who are listening to this podcast, or they might not be familiar with these two terms, would you like to elaborate on what you mean by identity security or security first?
Absolutely. With identity management, the concept is all how do we connect the users to the right applications and giving them the right amount of authorization. And I think classic identity management just created the session and a user was left unattended. In our world, in privileged access management, we knew that these people or machines are very powerful, and we have to control and secure those sessions. We're expanding that to all types of identities, and I would say relating to the creation of a human session or a machine session for regular users as something where we have to secure that from the get-go. So securing privilege access, but also securing non-privileged access, again, with that security first mindset. What does it mean, security first mindset? Is that there are attackers out there, and so we are protecting something, and we are protecting it against a sophisticated attacker. We've done that for privileged access. Let's now do it for all human access. Think first about what is the attack point, what could an attacker be doing, and how do we enable the business user to work freely and easily, but with security controls behind the scenes.
So, Udi, I think the other common question that we get is the timing of this acquisition, right? Why do we make this acquisition in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah, so I think, Jeffrey, it relates to your first question when you asked me how are you doing, how is the CyberArk doing. All functions of CyberArk continued during COVID, and it, of course, our support to the customers, our support to partners, and all other functions of the company, development and human resources, every department of the company. And the other element is the execution of our strategy, which is our corporate development department. So we continue to execute on every front, even including the pandemic. We were in touch with Idaptive, and we decided that this would be a great acquisition for our customers and partners, and did not let the pandemic slow us down. A lot of the work we did was actually on WebEx and Zoom and Teams and a lot of this kind of interaction. But we were able to show that not just the day-to-day business continues, but also CyberArk can execute a strategic move. Idaptive has offices in California, in Salt Lake City, Utah. Has a development center also in India. So we acquired a company where there's also an addition of offices and people, and we're able to do that in this pandemic. And I think it's a great proof to the resilience and the strong will of the CyberArk employees in these times.
Thanks, Udi. So I think one of the other thoughts that a lot of people had was Idaptive play in the same space as some of our CCube partner alliance. So how do you see this acquisition affects how we play in the CCube alliance?
Yeah, this was a very important point for us throughout this move. The CCube alliance is such a vibrant community that we've invested in so many years and so many integrations. And CyberArk has many partners there. Idaptive has partners in this community, and we will continue. We will continue to partner with our identity partners in the CCube alliance. We will continue to support integrations, all with a focus on what's best for the customer. what are the best solutions for the customer. And let's remember that the CCube alliance also contains non-identity partners like vulnerability management and DevOps and other functions that CyberArk invests in automation, of course, robotic process automation, which I believe is very big post-COVID, will continue to be very big post-COVID. So the short answer is that we will continue to partner as much as possible with our identity partners, and definitely sustain and continue to invest in integrations that are important for our customers and for the partners.
Thanks, Udi. So now that acquisition is complete, what are our next steps? What do you think our integration plans, and when would you expect our customers and partners to get to see what is the new CyberArk and Idaptive together?
Yeah, the team is working on it as we speak. It's I think the integration, the acquisition is about 2 weeks old. We're making good progress. Where the number one priority is our customers. Where are the best places where they can benefit from really connecting companies, and the goal is to improve our customers' overall security posture and make it seamless and very efficient to them. And again, back to your first question, the fact that we're able to cover all types of users will be very beneficial to our customers. And so we plan to, I would say, I would tell the listeners and the viewers here to stay tuned, because we'll have much more to share on the joint integration and the joint roadmap in the Impact event, the customer and partner event, Impact Live event in July.
Wow, can't wait. Just curious, because traditionally the Impact event has been this massive, all of our customers and partners coming together. I've attended a couple of them over the past years. Now with the new COVID-19, the new world order, how do you see Impact going for this year?
We decided if the world gives you lemons, you make it into lemonade, nice and sweet. And whereas we love the physical Impact events that we do in APJ and in Europe and in the Americas, we turned this one into a virtual global event. And the exciting part is that it will really enable customers and partners from anywhere around the world to participate without getting on a plane. And it will take place on July 21 and 22. So July 21 and 22 will be the virtual conference. It's going to have keynote sessions. It will have breakout sessions. There'll even be training and CPE credits and many engagement opportunities. We tested out a very deep platform for doing that. So there will be a lot of interactions and an exciting event. And so I'll put a plug here for the team. If you didn't register yet for Impact 2020, please do that on the CyberArk website. It's going to be really very deep and exciting event, and we look forward to seeing our customers and partners there.
Thanks, Udi. So just one last question. Since Impact is going to be virtual, is it going to be for all global attendees, or is it predominantly a US event like previous years?
It's truly a global event. In the past, the way to make it global for us was to travel between the continents. This allows us to make it a truly global event, and we're inviting customers and partners from anywhere around the world. And again, very both interactive, but also deep sessions that they can join and attend. Learn more about what we're doing, of course, in privileged access management and how we're covering more and more human and machine use cases with automation and DevOps and of course cloud and multi-cloud. And also, as you asked about the new Idaptive acquisition and how we're integrating it into the CyberArk platform.
Thank you, Udi. Thank you very much for joining our podcast, and we look forward to seeing you again at the Virtual Impact event. Thank you so much for your time.
That'll be exciting. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good to be here, and please invite me back.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you, Udi, once again. For audience who are not familiar with Idaptive, please head over to idaptive.com, idaptive.com, and you can find out all the information you need on Idaptive at our website. Idaptive is one of the leaders in multi-factor authentication, single sign-on, and identity as a service. If you head over now to our website, you'll be able to also sign up for a free single sign-on and multi-factor authentication, for use between now and October 2020. This is our effort to help our customers and prospects protect their remote workforce during the difficult COVID-19 situation. Our next segment is You Ask, We Answer, where we'll be answering questions that's posed to CyberArk. And for our first segment, for our first session, we'll be talking about the most common question that's been asked to CyberArk that we already have a solution for. So the most common question we get asked is probably, CyberArk, do you support this particular application or this particular platform? We get that asked almost by every other customers and prospect. So if you go to our website, at the top, you'll be able to see Marketplace. Once you go into Marketplace, you'll be able to see all the supported platforms and integrations that are available today. And you'll be able to do a quick search on any platform that's of your interest to you. Let's say you're interested in AWS, just do a search. All the integrations and the plugin will be published here. Similarly, let's use another common example, VMware. Again, once you search, all the relevant integrations for the various components of the solution and the various versions will be available as well. Another common question that we get asked is, CyberArk, what if one of the integrations that I need doesn't exist here? What can we do about it? Now, if you head over to the most popular segment, you will see that there is a PGU, plugin generator utility. PGU, if you click on it, is a utility that can be used to generate, is a wizard-based generator that you can configure to generate plugins for CPM to using SSH terminals or a web browser for PSM. So if you download, there's also a tutorial that you can just watch. We have recorded a session on, at a high level, how do you run and generate a plugin with the PGU. It's fairly simple, right? Once you open PGU, just specify whether you're generating a plugin for terminal like SSH or you are generating a plugin for PSM. It's fully wizard based. Enter the target device that you want to connect to. So let's say I'm going to connect to a router and put in the necessary IP address and then enter the username and password that you currently have. And what you do is you have to initiate a login and we'll record and generate the plugin for you. It is that simple. So do check it out. And if you find that there's a separate, there's another plugin that you require that is not SSH or is not web-based, and you can always attend one of our plugin generating CPM plugin course that's run by our education team, and you'll be able to learn how to generate the plugin, not using the PGU, but using the full suite of the SDK. Now, another common question that we get asked is, CyberArk, the current reporting tool on the PVWA, doesn't meet my reporting needs. I like to generate more reports when it comes to how many sessions are currently running, what are my current safe utilizations, and so on. So I'd like to introduce you to the PAS reporter. If you open up the PAS reporter, you'll see that the Patch Reporter is a tool that runs on EVD, extract vault data. So this can be configured on the Patch Reporter itself. So let's say if you open it up and you click right here, you can select the settings and configure the information to your vault, and you'll be able to pull this reporting off the vault. Likewise, if you have already done an EVD, you can just drag and drop the EVD output into both of these boxes. And after that, you'll be able to get a reporting dashboard like this. So in this case, I'm looking at session management. You can see what are sessions that is the utilization over the different times of the day, which are the most common connections types or target devices and policies and so on. Likewise, if you are keen to look at what's your safe management looking like, so you can head over to the safe management and look at the safes that you have, what are the what's the current utilizations, the retention policies, and so on. So I hope that was useful for audience out there. I hope you have learned something new today. And if you have other questions that you'd like to post to CyberArk, post to this podcast channel, please drop a comment with your questions into the video. We will accumulate those, consolidate them, and put them up into our subsequent Ask CyberArk podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing you on our next podcast. Thank you.